person can be walking under a tree and a 100-pound limb can just fall, without, any provocation. So this is the recommendation right now, is to find a way, even if this means that the University Park has to float a bond issue, to accomplish this, to get those trees down in advance, of any event, bringing them down. Following this, the recommendation is that a tree commission or a tree committee be formed. There are technical resources available to University Park in order to assist the codification of ordinances that will manage and govern trees. And there is education officials from the Illinois Department of Agriculture that is willing to work with University Park and its residents on education going forward. Thank you.
And that's something, first of all, I didn't get your name again. What's your name again? Christina Johnson?
Katrina Johnson.
Katrina Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you. You've done so much research on this, and we really appreciate you taking the time to do this. One of the residents, Jewel Thompson, she did her research, and she told me it was the emerald ash borer that actually caused devastation.
Yes.
But I've been watching my 2 trees that I planted by hand in my front yard just go to death, really. The bark start falling off. You can see the little bitty marks of the borer actually going through the bark of the tree.
Yes.
And therefore the 2 trees of mine are dead out front.
Yes.
But luckily they're not really, really tall, but what we can do as a village is to seek this particular, partnership.
Yes.
And if we can do that, and we can do it as soon as possible, it's going to help, because there's so many trees out there right now, a couple hundred feet tall.
Absolutely.
And I see them all around the village. We've started a small project with Gary, and I've noticed quite a few trees has come down. So, but we need to be able to partner with them as soon as possible, because it's definitely, now that you tell us that insurance, our house insurance, would not cover this.
Right.
Wow.
Because it's on the parkway portion, which belongs to the village. And I'm just talking about the ash devastation, but this is in addition, to the trees that were already, rotting, what have you. And then there is some Dutch elm, disease. So the recommendation, the next step, right now is to do an inventory, to follow the best practices that surrounding suburbs has adopted. So the forester, who's based in Homewood, he oversaw the establishment of their management program. He has protocols that have to be followed to establish that. Now, these protocols is a prerequisite, to any funding. If it's for like tree replacement or whatever might be out there, to help, to fund the cost of bringing these trees down. We have the extension official who's out of the country until October 4th. He's volunteered to help to search for grants, that would assist the village in bringing these down.
So they would basically have to partner with Gary initially to get this thing rolling?
You have to form, you have to do the tree inventory first. And once you have that form, you can, get the estimates from, what is recommended is to go into a contractual agreement, with a tree service that's bonded and insured, and it will be more cost effective to the village, to do it on a contractual basis. And I'm told that the village could get this at a reduced cost for labor, because the arborers get like $65 an hour for this. And the village, can negotiate the cost of $35 an hour. But the inventory will give the village the idea of exactly how many trees have to be cut down. So in a contractual agreement, you can compare, what was done to what needed to be done.
Just a couple things. First of all, I think you'll find on the agenda this evening is a contract to have at least 50 trees removed. So second thing is, a number of years ago, I proposed a number of programs basically for our kids to keep them busy, because all of our kids are not athletes. Some of them have other talents. And one of the programs that I recommended, which is really kind of right up your expertise, was an intergenerational gardening program.
Yes.
So we take the senior citizens and have them work along with our youth, and partner with Governor State University, their horticulture department, to have kind of an academic but practical gardening program.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering if, because it would be pretty cost competitive, I think, it wouldn't be very expensive to do a program like that. If somebody like yourself, and if you have others who would volunteer, maybe work along with our Parks and Recreation Department for next year to have a gardening program like that. I think a number of our senior citizens would enjoy getting out and doing that kind of thing.
I, did that project for a school district before, where the kids actually designed the class, and they had an intergenerational gardening opportunity where they raised sweet potatoes. And then during their fall festival, they got to, pack bags and pass out what they'd grown. And I also wrote the service learning model for like community school gardening for Parker College. And my, opinion, that is I do think that the village can benefit from extension-based programs, that, are free. Things like the 4-H, things like, food, there's a food stamp nutrition program, whatever, programs to teach people how to cut grass. There's a junior master gardener program, things of that nature. And maybe the rival farm, could be, used for some of those things.
First Baptist Church also had a program where they were gardening and having a farm stand.
Yes.
And so, that could be a really nice partnership.
Yes, I'm from a farming family, so I'm for, those kinds of things. So I'm, willing to help, wherever I can.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
You said we need to create an inventory. Did you have an inventory of what you studied to point or to date?
excuse me.
Do you have a list of trees that you use for the study? Because we do, like Trustee Payne said, we have a 50 tree contract on the table now. Maybe we could target some of the ash trees?
Well, you're talking about hundreds of trees, in addition, to what's in the budget for the dead trees. I went out with Public Works, and, I saw the dead trees that were marked for removal. And so in addition, to what the budget allows, this is a large project, and it's recommended that a larger company, come in and enter into a contractual relationship, and if the university or the village needs to, maybe float a bond issue to bring them down as a method to manage their liabilities.
Okay.
John, could you give your contact information?
We have it.
Yes.
We do have it. We set up the meeting with her last week.
I'd like to know, when do we get put in for these grants? And can we put in for the grants before we try to get started? Would they come in?
Okay, the timetable, I'm gonna, get out of the way, of business here. Once the inventory is established, bids can be, received by the trustees. And then, you go with the lowest bid. And then, when this official comes back, he's in Kenya on October the 4th, I will get the information, on what grants, if any, that he's able to locate. We just missed one by a couple of weeks by Morton Arboretum, who's another partner in this, for the tree replanting. Because once those trees come up, some trees have to be replanted, because you have trees that have to come down whole blocks on both sides. And this was a problem that was allowed to fester for 13 years. So it would have been cheaper, to manage those trees as opposed to having to cut them down.
Okay, Ms. Johnson, I want to first thank you for months, a few months ago, actually, come to my office and bringing this to my attention. We did talk, and she offered a great wealth of knowledge, and I asked her to help with us. We will be forming this. This came out of our town hall meeting, and this is another committee that we want to form. And we will be talking, Neva and I were talking about this just Friday as well. Ms. Green has already offered, she is a certified gardener as well.
Yes.
So I'll get back with you this Friday as we talked about and try to get this all wrapped up. And I do have people that I talked to in Washington, in the Department of Agriculture, that we can get some grants and working with Governor State, their resort, reservoir, and also the forestry. The literature that they just gave me and mailed to me, there's some contacts on there for sure. So we'll get back with you, and we'll be asking for people to sign up and work with you, okay?
Yes,
Thank you so much for all your work. Okay, thank you. At this time, we're going to call up, just a second, Mr. Those all that sign in. Captain Carter, Commander Davis, General Commander Wilt Norman at this time. For a presentation, special presentation, and I hope it's been a year in planning, and I hope everybody will appreciate this.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Commander Robert Davis. I got that title because I am the commander of an American Legion post in Chicago that I created and founded. The title came previously because I was the 3-term commander for the largest American Legion post in the state of Illinois. And I left there and went and started my own so that I could help the different parts of the city. So I want to introduce you to my team, and then I'll tell you a little bit about me. Captain Ron Carter and Chuck Norman are here to give you a presentation on a matter that we talked to the mayor about a little over a year ago. And we went out and did some due diligence and research, and we're now here to present what we found. First of all, Sergeant Major. I'm a 34-year veteran. I did Vietnam, Desert Storm, Iraq, and Afghanistan. And when I retired from the military in 2007, my goal was to come out into my community and take all of the knowledge and training that the military gave me over those 34 years and apply it to my community. In those 34 years, we were dubbed peacekeepers and nation builders. And I was sent all over the world to do just that. So now I bring that knowledge back to my community. What propelled me on this project and on my journey that I'm on now is the fact that I wanted to do something that was relevant to the veteran community, starting in my community and then elevating it and spreading it out. So, April 1st of 2015, let me back up. In December of 2014, I applied for a SFVF grant from the federal government, a program which started under Michelle Obama and Jill Biden. Supportive services for veteran families, that's what SFVF is. The goal of that grant is for us to go out, the grantees, and find veterans who are homeless or at risk of being homeless and bring them on their feet by providing them housing, by providing them job connections and training, by giving them self-esteem in their community, by buying them beds, by buying them food, etc., paying their light bills and their gas bills, providing transportation for them to get back and forth to work. I was awarded $1.2 million on April 1st of 2015 to go out and execute that within the city limits of Chicago. But here's the lesson learned. While we can take a veteran off of Akimana and Viaduct and pull them out of a shelter, or take them off a park bench, the grant will only allow the grantee to help them financially for up to 9 months. So now what happens to that veteran after 9 months if they don't have the money to sustain themselves? It becomes a cycle all over again. And so when the grant ended, September the 30th of last year, I joined forces with Captain Carter and some other veterans and said that we need to become an extension of that grant. We need to take it beyond them 9 months. And we need to get that veteran back on their feet and give them the means to take care of themselves and maintain themselves, them and their families. So we formed Veteran Villages LLC. Now what Veteran Villages LLC does is identify areas in the Chicago metropolitan area that we want to take private investment money along with federal money and build veteran villages where we can take our military people, our veterans, and our currently serving, and place them into the same type of situation as they were when they were serving and wearing the uniform. In other words, create a same type of scenario as if they went on Fort Bragg or Fort Leavenworth or Fort Riley, everything they need right there. And we are the support that they need to keep them there and to keep them engaged and to make them become productive citizens in our community. So through a series of partnering with different collaborative partners, bringing in private investment dollars, working with the Chicago Housing Authority and HUD, we have put together a comprehensive financial portfolio that we're here to talk to you about tonight. And it's concerning property that you have here in University Park. As well as being an American Legion commander, the largest veteran organization in the country, I also am a member of the Montford Point Marines Association. I also am a member of CVI, Center for Veteran Issues, and I'm also a member of NAVVET, the National Association for Black Veterans. The latter of which is what I want to expound on right now. CVI and NAVVET is home based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Those organizations were started at the end of Vietnam by General Robert Prokop. And his reason for starting those organizations is because during that time, the VA did not embrace our veterans coming back from Vietnam who were occult. They had to literally fight to get medical and other services through the VA system. And General Prokop went out and started this national organization called CPI/NAVVET. NAVVET, the portion of the organization, takes care of the enrollment and the membership and spread across the country. CBI is the financial piece that puts the housing and supportive services for the veterans in place to create veteran villages. So when I joined CBI NAVVET, General Prokop summoned me to Milwaukee, and he said, "Commander, I want you to take what I did here in Milwaukee and take it back to the Chicago metropolitan area and duplicate it." So what we're going to show you tonight is a few pictures of some of his efforts. he has taken a portion of Milwaukee and Racine and Green Bay and built these veteran villages. And once he built them to house them, the support services, the jobs, the job training, the VA connections for medical services and all of that, it's their responsibility to take care of all of that for that veteran and that family. So, Kevin, can we show them just a few of the pictures of General Prokoff's efforts in Milwaukee? Go back. Hold on. All right. The first picture that you see there is Veterans Manor. That is a housing complex that they built in Milwaukee that houses, I want to say, up to 72 veterans. The beautiful part about this is if you look at the bottom of that building, you'll see what's called Troop Cafe. Next slide. Troop Cafe, for those of you all who've been in the military, is a dining facility. They serve meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for all of the residents living in the manor, as well as people who are coming off the street who just want to enjoy the experience. It is manned by all veterans that are housed in the manor. Next slide. Holland Commons is another one of the residential housing facilities in Milwaukee that was a later addition because we had so many veterans piling up on a waiting list that we had to build out so that we could have more accommodations. So Highland Commons is one of the newest creations in Milwaukee. Next slide. This particular facility is our newest facility. And I want to point it, I put this on here so I can point it out to you. A lot of our veterans come back from the wars with physical disabilities, and some are deaf and blind. This is a 24-room facility that is specifically built for the disabled, the blind, and disabled. It takes care of all of the facilities, the bathrooms, the kitchens, and everything else are built to specification just for those veterans. I want to point out now that General Prokoff has taken his show on the road. Now he's building veteran villages in North Carolina, in Arizona, and spreading out more in Wisconsin. Our job here in Illinois is to duplicate what he has done, to bring the private investment money and federal money along with the programs and wrap them around our veterans. And I'm going to turn the mic over to Captain Carter so he can tell you a little bit more about all of this.
There's more, but we'll get back to it. There's going to be a slight intermission. That's the Empowerment Zone, Empowerment Village, also in Racine, Wisconsin.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees, dignitaries, citizens. My name is Captain Ron Carter. I was commissioned second lieutenant, United States Army from the Virginia Military Institute in 1978. And I was the #1 draft pick of the Los Angeles Lakers. I played on the '79-80 championship team with Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Let me see the ring.
I hate to break the bad news to you. This is my military ring. But Dr. Jerry Buss, the owner of the Los Angeles Lakers, was a real estate developer. I don't know how many of you knew that. But the parent company of the LA Lakers was a company called Marion Buss Associates. And while I was playing, both myself and one of my teammates, who you probably have heard of, Mitch Kupchak, we decided that we would go to grad school. And I was able to get a master's from Pepperdine University in business, and Mitch got a master's from UCLA. And he took over the basketball team, and I took over the real estate company. And we proceeded to grow the Laker empire from the inside out. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what happened after that. The Northridge earthquake hit Los Angeles. Dr. Buss lent me to FEMA. I went to work for FEMA during that earthquake, and then consequently got a presidential appointment to work for the Clinton administration. And in May of '95, we did a federal takeover of the Chicago Housing Authority. We, as you all know, proceeded to tear down those buildings. It cost us $2 billion of HUD money to do so and to redevelop. And as that project finally got legs, Mayor Daley brought me over to the city of Chicago, and I became the director of the Chicago Empowerment Zone. After several years of working for Mayor Daley at the Empowerment Zone, I then went back into the private sector, and shortly thereafter, I got a call from HUD. Well, actually, I got a call from the Secretary of the Illinois Department of Human Services, Dr. Carol Adams, and became the Senior Policy Advisor and Director of Strategic Planning for the state of Illinois. Largest agency in the state, 18,000 employees, $6 billion a year budget. We were spending $13 million a day in your tax money. After leaving the Empowerment Zone, after leaving the Department of Human Services, prior to Governor Blagojevich's demise, I went back to HUD and became the federally appointed receiver for the Gary, Indiana Housing Authority. And then I left there and became city manager of the city of Benton Harbor, Michigan. And as a result of a difficult family situation, my 14-year-old daughter contracted cancer. I came back to Chicago, and we spent 3 years at the University of Chicago Hospital, 2 chemos, 3 lung surgeries, and a leg amputation later. My daughter's a senior at Michigan State. Praise the Lord.
Praise God for that, yes.
So, about a year ago, Commander Davis and I met, and all that government money he talks about, that's my part. As a senior policy advisor and a legislator, I've been able to assist, and I can bore you ad nauseum about all the money that's out there, but there is a ton of government money out there, from work opportunity tax credits to family self-sufficiency, HUD home ownership dollars, to HUD development dollars that we can tap into to build affordable housing, not only in Chicagoland and Will County and Cook County, but also across the state. So to make this all work, it's taking the passion of Commander Davis for serving veterans and the expertise to access public dollars, and then to get private real estate developers and contractors. Chuck Norman here was promoted by the mayor. He's not a general, he's a general contractor.
Yes,
And
got that.
so we get gentlemen like Chuck that have great expertise to help us put these projects together. And about a year ago, Mr. Jones over there and Commander Davis brought me out here and showed me something y'all call Cityscape.
All right.
Before we go to that, go to the next slide, because I want to, as an introduction to Mr. Norman, show you some of his work. This is the Marriott Residence Inn. It's a multi-unit complex. You guys want to get up again? It's only 4 slides, so it won't take us quick. As a matter of fact, what I'd like to do, Chuck, why don't you come up and talk about these projects, and then I'll close.
So as Ron Carter mentioned, I'm a general contractor. I have been for the last 10 years. I've owned my own company for 10 years in Will County. Resident of Will County of 15 years. We build along the lakefront on the North Shore, Executive North Shore, as well as we have a sister company called Norman Construction Management that does most of the commercial, industrial, and municipal buildings that you'll see on these first couple of slides. That itself is in Bolingbrook, Indiana, where I reside. That is the Marriott Residence Inn, just off of I-55, Stevenson Expressway, and Route 53, just in South Bolingbrook. Have you go to the next one? This one is LG Electronics distribution facility, also in Bolingbrook, off of Weber Road and I-55. This is a 360,000 square foot complex that is used for their central distribution location in the Midwest. This is a Class A medical facility that is right next to the Bolingbrook Adventist Hospital off of Brigham King Road and Route 53. This is a corporate, like I said, medical office building. It has, I believe, 180 different medical offices in it, as well as a direct route to the hospital, emergency exits off the back. So anybody that is coming in for post-surgery or post-observation for anything that they've done, they can go directly into the Adventist Hospital in Bolingbrook. This is one of 2 500,000 square foot buildings in Crest Hill, Indiana, or Crest Hill, Illinois, built for Trammell Crow. This is right off of Joliet Road, Route 30, in Crest Hill. This is also a main distribution center for multiple businesses. It's subdivided, or able to be subdivided as well. Like I said, this was our largest project we've ever done. It's 1 million square feet at one time. Okay, we can go on to the next ones too. This is some of the residences that we build up on the Executive North Shore. As you can see in the top left, we actually won a historical renovation award for that property there. A couple of them are on Lake Michigan. Some of them are in the Winnetka area, Glencoe areas, all along the lakefront up on the North Shore. This is the main purpose of North Shore Custom Living. Norman Construction Management is a commercial division or sister company to this company. And then Kevin, the last one will be just some of the finishes, the high-end finishes that we've done for some of these houses. The one on the bottom right is someone's basement, which is, people always ask me, do you live up there? And I'm like, I can't afford